Boy, this one was a mistake. 10 games in a row for just for Gamerscore. It doesn't sound too bad, but this time I made a horrible mistake by starting at like 4:30 a.m. I think I was staying up because I was trying to get some Forza Horizon 4 Eliminator achievements. I got some, but didn't want the ones I didn't get the ones I wanted, so I just said, oh, might as well just stay up and do this achievement blitz. And for me, personally, I think this one failed. We'll get to that later on in the video, but any guides I use will be in the description. So 10 games, 6 hours and 25 minutes. So let's get started. So first up is the newest Zithion game, Butterfly. I know I shouldn't have bought this, but it was cheap. It had on the sale for its launch, and it was really easy. 10 levels. It's supposed to take you like 10 minutes, but it took me 11 minutes. It's a terrible looking and controlling platformer. Plays like a caterpillar or something. And you gotta collect stuff to win levels. You only gotta play 10, thankfully. But I'm assuming, like all the other games, later on this game will get the 2000 update, the 3000 update, and eventually to 4000. 5000 later on next year probably. So this game's easy. You don't need a guide for it. Just beat the 10 levels. Now next up is Sig.NULL, the shortest one of the bunch. I just used a text walkthrough on TA, and that took me like 4 minutes or so. You just gotta look at the screen, or not. You don't even have to look at the game. You just gotta look at the text walkthrough. Just look at your controller and press all the buttons that you need, and 1,000 points in like 4 minutes or 5 minutes. It's a puzzle game, but like I said, I wasn't even looking at the screen, so I don't really know what it's about. Number 3 is Loot Hero DX. Now this is a school side-scroller type of thing. It's kind of like a clicker hybrid where you just keep going left, destroying enemies to get coins, and you can stop in like some. You can stop to get some like upgrades at like some shops, and then the enemies respawn. So you go back and left to get some more coins. You can grind it out. You just gotta keep going right and killing stuff. It's cool little game. Upgrades, you go faster and faster. I like this one, so recommend it. Follow the guide just because it was a new game and I didn't really know what I was doing. So terrible number 4 is Balancelot. This one is kind of like Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, but with a unicycle and a lance to attack. Wonking controls is all this game has. It's very frustrating. I just thought it was plain annoying. I really disliked this one. I wouldn't recommend it, even though it's an easy 1000. You'll probably get the controls, and it'd probably be like, ugh, I don't think I complete this. Like some games like those ACA Neo Geo games, like people say they're so easy, but sometimes you don't have that skill that those others have, even though they're really old games. So now we hit the halfway point with More Dark. It's a weird puzzle platformer. I guess it's good if those are your jam. I died like 79 times trying to finish it. I did have some troubles with the controls. I thought the jumps, after you jumped, it was kind of slidey, so I had trouble with that. I died a bunch of times to that. Number 6 is Lord of the Click, and this is where we start going downhill. This is a clicker game, but not like the ones you know of, not like the idle ones. This one, you have to actively press the buttons. You can get upgrades to not being able to press the buttons, but you need to press the buttons because in the achievement you have to press the RB and RT, or one or the other, or both together, 7,777 times. Now, that's just plain annoying. I don't have a turbo controller. I did it myself. I had alternating, hitting both those buttons. And I gotta realize this is around 5 a.m. at this point, so I'm drifting in and out of sleep. I remember myself waking up from this game. I took probably like a power nap, like maybe like 2-3 minutes or something like that. So I'm running at fumes at this point. I didn't even finish this game until like 6 o'clock in the morning. Really ridiculous, but I did it. I wish I had a turbo controller so it would go faster, but can do this one if you have time on your hands. Next game up is Vera, Blanc, the Moon. Luckily, this is a visual novel and not very action-oriented, so I just followed the guide on TA. I skipped all the dialogue and followed the guide, so I did not need to really pay attention. Game number 7, Oneiros. I don't know how to say this. I think this is the best of the bunch I picked. It's a first-person adventure type game, or walking sim if you want to call it like that. These are right up my alley. The nice achievements, inventive. Don't really have to. You gotta think, but there's like some mini games you gotta do. Pick some stuff up around some rooms. It's got a nice art style. It's really tongue-in-cheek stuff. But there's one achievement in here which requires you to pay attention in real life for the time, because in the garage every 30 minutes a cuckoo clock, a bird pops out of that cuckoo clock. So and then you have to grab that bird for the achievement. So in my sleep deprived state, I was standing right by the clock because I followed the guide that I was watching, and I got there on time. Well before that time was going to the bird was going to appear. So I was standing right by the clock, and I missed it. So that means I would have to wait another 30 minutes just waiting there just to get that one achievement so I can finish the game. So knowing that, I looked at the other two games, and there's okay, those games are an hour each long, and I don't know how long that's going to take. Because even though the video guide is only an hour, you might have to stop because they go too fast or you misunderstood something. So at this point, I called it quits, stopped the timer, and I went to bed. Now, I know what you're going to say. I didn't do this in all one burst, so it doesn't really count. But it is my series, and I can bend the rules how I want them. So since I stopped the timer, I was like, okay, I'll just restart the timer again. I did mess up, but I'm still working on the live split stuff. I might fix it where I have the highest estimated time, and then where I can compare on real world how I play those games. So maybe in the next one I'll do that. Once I got some sleep, I recharged. Later on in the day, I went back to it. This time, the game went smoothly. I got the bird, and it only took me 30 more minutes to beat. After I beat that game, I took another break to play some Warzone with some friends. Then I went back to the Pillar Puzzle Escape, which is a nice, chill puzzle game, like The Witness. I followed the guide, so I didn't really have to pay attention to the puzzles, but sometimes in that game, you can go ahead of the guide because the puzzles are really easy, but I like the guide because even though the puzzles are easy, they weren't really slow with it, and I really appreciated that. So I liked it. It's pretty nice, easy 1000. The last and final game is Ridden. It's another walking sim, but it's more puzzle focused. And again, I followed the guide, but this time the guide, I was saying with Puzzle Escape, those Puzzle Escape guide makers weren't really slow, but for Ridden, the puzzles kind of went too fast for me. I had to go in and slow down the video to 0.5s so I can clearly see what they're doing and follow along. This game did crash on me twice. It was really annoying, but it auto saves really well, so it doesn't really impact me that much. And it does have slow walking, and I thought the puzzles were really annoying. So at the end, I clocked in around 6 hours and 25 minutes. You can add more time if you want, because I didn't do it all in one burst. But I wasn't playing those games, so I didn't time it. 10,000 points in 6 hours isn't half bad, but I did have some lessons learned in this episode, and I'm not going to start so late, and I'm going to try to pick better games, maybe themed episodes maybe. The next day I did go play some more Gamerscore games. I didn't time them because I was just doing it just to do it, because I had the extra games I picked out. I just didn't really want to save them for the third episode, so I did 112th Seed, Night and Plus, Kalula's Treasure. Now, Kalula's Treasure, I was going to do this, but I might have screwed up because there's an achievement for not dying, so I didn't want to risk it. And then I did Swordbreaker the Game. That's another visual novel where you just gotta press 2 buttons. So I did go on to get 4,000 more points, but I didn't time it, so you'll probably see this in my 700,000 update video, which is probably coming soon, because I just, as of today, when I'm recording this, I did cross over 700,000, but we'll see how far I am once I upload that video. I might be a couple more thousand ahead. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.